Hello. Hope that woke you guys up. Daily 100 off the bat for you guys. What's going on, guys? Motonosity here, and welcome to another video here on the Motonosity channel. Let me get a few clicks up here so you guys can actually hear me. Today, we are going to talk about motorcycle exhausts. But first, I gotta go drop off some mail for you guys. By the way, if you want to win my 2014 Yamaha MT-09, every $5 spent over at Motonosity.com gets you an entry into winning. I'm going to jam-pack the next 2 weeks. That's how long you have. You have 2 weeks. I'm going to jam-pack the next 2 weeks with videos for the MT-09. Someone's calling me. Who is calling me? Oh, my father is calling me. Sorry, Pops. I got work to do. I'm meeting up with Nate of Motivation, where I get all my motorcycle parts tonight, and he's getting me some stuff for the R1, which I'm on right now, and some stuff for the MT-09. And I've got more stuff on its way for the MT-09. It's going to be tight, hella tight, the tightest of buttholes. No, it's going to be super tight trying to fit in all these mods in the last 2 weeks of the month. Scuzzy. I have a full backpack full of stuff to ship out today, so I'm gonna have to go inside and plop it down in the basket. I'll catch you guys in like a second because you know, magic editing video, that kind of thing. Okay. I've got the joy of riding around with an empty backpack now. Isn't it wonderful? It just feels so much nicer riding without a backpack. Come on. There you go. Where should we ride? Visor. Sorry about that. Downshift. By the way, whenever you can, if there's traffic, be along the lane line or close to it. Whether lane splitting is legal where you are or not. Because if the car behind you is not paying attention, if you're to the side, you're not going to get hit. They may brush your shoulder, but at least you won't be dead. Oh, by the way, how do you like the image quality? This is the first video I'm making with the GoPro Hero 9. I've been rocking the Hero 5 since it came out, so like 4 or 5 years, something like that. I've tested out some of them since then, but they just never did it for me. I never felt the need to upgrade because I just really liked how my Hero 5 was working. Okay, let's chill. And chill. And downshift. Downshift. And downshift. And downshift. And I got no more gear, so we're just gonna brake. Not good. I need to replace those pads. These stock pads do not have a real good bite on them. Anyways, enough chitter chatter. You guys clicked on this video to hear me talk about exhausts, and listen to that sweet exhaust. The exhaust I got on here is the SC project that I picked up from Motivation. You guys can find a link to it down in the description. I'll probably link all the exhausts that I have on my bikes down in the description. I've got a lot of them, like a lot of different ones. I put different exhausts on almost all my bikes. The R3 that I built had an M4. My 2009 R1 had a TOS. My WR250 had a Delta 4. My CRF has a FMF. My R1 has the SC project. My 2017 R6 and my MT-09 have Leo Vinci. My S1000 has Austin Racing. My Ruckus has a has a Yoshimura pipe or can. My 2009 R6 had a Harris Racing GP megaphone exhaust. It's not all my bikes, but yeah, I've owned a lot of different exhausts, a lot of different exhaust companies. But this video is a talk about, do you need a full exhaust? And I'm going to be touching on more than just that, but for all intents and purposes, and they are intents and purposes, not to be confused with intensive purposes, which is a whole nother conversation. When I talk about a full exhaust, I'm talking about when you replace the entire piping system of your exhaust. So headers to where the air exits your exhaust. Now, if you missed my most recent video or second most recent video, I rode with It's Me, Eric B. He's got a 2017 R6, and he originally just put an Acura slip-on. And if you don't know what a slip-on is, it's the end muffler canister that slips on to the pipe. And generally, the slip-on is after the catalytic converter on your motorcycle. And it's called a slip-on because it slips on. There's not a whole lot else to it. And so he just bought the Acura slip-on, but he really wanted to shed more weight, and he was unhappy with the volume of sound that he was getting from the Acura with the cat still on there. And when I say cat, that's short for catalytic converter. He was asking me, he was like, do I need to get full headers, or can I just buy one of the mid pipes that are available? And some companies will do this. They'll offer a mid pipe that essentially replaces the middle section of your exhaust between your slip-on and your headers, allowing you to remove the catalytic converter, which is just there for emissions purposes and sometimes sound deadening. And this isn't a discussion on the legality of all this. Maybe I'll touch on it a little bit, but that's not the primary focus of this video. But some people want to do that. The mid pipe allows you to replace that section of the exhaust without replacing the entire header section, which is usually pretty expensive to replace. Maybe it was a mistake to take this road. I didn't know there was going to be construction. Anyway, so he asked me, he was like, you know, can I just get this mid pipe, or do I really need to get headers? I was like, no, you don't need to get the headers. So of course he wanted to keep his slip on, but he just really wanted to get rid of that cat. Headers these days are really not a major issue in the airflow and sound of a bike. If you replace them with an aftermarket unit, you're really not gaining much except for possibly looks and weight, because the stock headers are usually steel. Sometimes the manufacturers are putting in titanium headers. Like the headers on my R1 are titanium from the factory. So my exhaust here on the R1, I typically do full exhaust just because I like to. I like how the aftermarket ones look. The headers on this bike are actually pretty hidden, so you're not even going to see anything. But when they are visible, you know, people like to see that color changing titanium. So that's one aspect. And then wait, if they were steel from the factory and you replace them with titanium, then you're obviously going to save a few pounds. Now, in the grand scheme of things, a couple pounds is really not going to make any difference. You're not going to notice that. It's not the kind of weight that you can feel under your butt. If you're specifically tracking your motorcycle and you're trying to shave every single possible ounce of time, then maybe it could help you out. But I doubt it's going to get you anything more than a few hundredths of a second. And if you're not like in a racing league where that matters to you, it should be a moot point. However, my biggest advice with this and with anything that you do with your motorcycle is obviously just do what makes you happy. If it makes you happy to, you know, shed that weight, obviously with my builds, and it's a little bit different because I'm doing my builds for YouTube, and I like to do, you know, the most that I possibly can do on a bike, and it's always nice to shed as much weight as physically possible. And that's an area where you can shed a couple extra pounds, but it's a lot of money for not a whole lot of benefit unless you just really love that look that you can get from some very nice aftermarket titanium headers. So when you're trying to decide if you should go with the full system or just a slip-on or just a slip-on in a mid-pipe, you should ask yourself first, how much do you want to spend? Because you're going to be paying a pretty penny to get those aftermarket titanium headers. If you're just trying to shed weight and you're on more of a budget, that money that you're spending on the headers could be much better spent on other types of mods, things like chain and sprocket and ECU flash. Those are things that are going to be way cheaper than doing the aftermarket headers, but are going to get you way more benefit and a better feeling motorcycle than the headers ever could possibly get you. So 3 reasons that I could say to get the headers: you have tons of money to blow and you really don't care about the cost. 2, you're racing competitively and hundredths of seconds matter to you. Or 3, you just really desperately want the look that you're going to get from titanium headers. So that covers that. Let's get back to the mid pipe. So, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, I think that's my old Jeep. Oh, please, light change, light change. I know the guy who bought my Jeep lives in this area. I have not seen my Jeep since I sold it 3 years ago. Oh, this light needs to change. Oh my gosh. I know he's done some changes to the build since he bought it. Pretty sure he still has my stickers on there. So if the stickers are on there, like on the side, I had the Texas flag and I had an Enigma Coatings sticker. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, it's my Jeep. Oh my gosh. Wait a second. He replaced the, oh, he's done more. He replaced the Bilsteins with those Falcon shocks. It's my freaking Jeep. This is my Jeep. This is my Jeep. How's it going? Yeah, I got earplugs, so I can't really hear very well. It's looking really good. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. How's it going? Oh my god, I saw you pass and I was like, I think that's my Jeep. I really like the little brake light that he's got down there. No problem, I'll let you go, but it's looking really good. I actually just bought a Gladiator recently because I couldn't stay away from the Jeeps for too much longer, but it's looking really good. Are you still liking it?
Oh yeah.
Awesome. Well, thanks for pulling over and let me take a closer look at it.
Yeah.
Very cool. I hope I see you around, man. See ya. That is so insane. I'm sorry that had nothing to do with what we were talking about today, but oh my gosh, you have no idea how excited that makes me. I can't even follow like my thought process. I don't even know what I was talking about. If you guys are new to the channel, I had the Jeep. I bought it in 2015 and I sold it in 2018. I had it for about 3 years. I did a good amount of stuff to it. I sent him a text like, I don't know, maybe a year or two ago, and I was like, hey man, I was just thinking about you and the Jeep, and I was just, you know, curious. You still have it? How you enjoying it? You done anything to it? He's like, yeah, still have it, still love it, and here's some of the stuff that I've done. It's looking good. The guy is taking care of it. You guys see that tire shine on there? Freaking mall crawler status to the max. I think he's told me that he takes it out to Hidden Falls sometimes, so that feels so good. I was so excited to see that. All right, so let's get back to the topic at hand. Let's talk about mid pipes. Now, this is going to vary motorcycle to motorcycle because some motorcycles you can replace the mid pipe, or sometimes it's called a Y pipe. Sometimes you can replace this without cutting anything. For example, on my 2009 R1, it just had a Y pipe. You could replace that without doing a full exhaust. So then you could get rid of the catalytic converter and do, you know, the slip-on without having to do a full system. A bike like the R6 though, you can't do that. That's all one unit from headers to catalytic converter. Some people just don't want to do this, are nervous about it, and that's completely fine. It's not really a huge issue because honestly, factory exhausts are super cheap. So if you mess something up, or at the end of the day you wanted to go back to a stock exhaust to sell it or something like that, you could do that relatively easily and cheaply. So if you're concerned about it, understandable, but just remember, some bikes you have to cut the exhaust, some bikes you don't. Some bikes, the entire thing is one unit. For example, on the R3, in order to just do a slip-on, you had to cut the pipe. But is it worth it? Whether it just be to do a slip-on or to replace that middle portion of the exhaust where the cat is it worth it? Legality aside, yeah, I would. A ton of riding and you're constantly on your motorcycle and you're really very conscious about your environmental impact, then maybe it's something that you want to, you know, pass on. Completely understandable position to have. I try to be as conscious as I can be about, you know, what I consume and its impact on the environment and things like that. That's obviously a decision that you have to make for yourself. So we'll leave that aside. Let's look at the actual benefits of doing that. For one, it's pretty cheap. In terms of like benefit to cost ratio on mods that you can do on your bike. Two, the weight that you save from getting rid of the cat is massive. A lot of times you're looking at, you know, low end maybe 5 pounds up to even like 15 pounds removing the catalytic converter. Three, you might finally be able to get that sound that you're looking for on your motorcycle. I think just doing a slip-on makes a very big difference. That makes a big difference on the sound too, and it really impacts the, you know, the volume of the sound. At the end of the day, a plain old slip-on is going to be the easiest, cheapest, and biggest improvement in terms of exhaust that you can make. And just replacing that simple piece on your bike is going to completely transform how your bike looks. So I hope that helped you guys out. I hope it gave you a little bit of insight into making a decision on, you know, what exhaust to get. There's obviously so many different exhausts out there and different types of exhausts from different manufacturers. Your possibilities are almost completely endless. If you want to see any of the exhausts that I have on my motorcycles, I'll link those down in the description so you guys can check them out. Let me know if you guys have any questions. You can leave them down in the comments below. Otherwise, you guys have been awesome. I've been Motonosity. Remember, life's better with horsepower. Keep life lived, and I will see you guys in the next one.